Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 409. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
How you doing?
Brett Murdoch.
One of these days I want you to roll the R on my name.
You're not Hispanic, though. I could,
That's
though.
I just want to hear it.
Brett
Murdoch. I gotta say like Irish, too, you know? Brett Murdoch. You know, gotta do two R's in that motherfucker. And Brian Manjoma.
Hey, guys. What's up?
What's going on, people? All right, no Chris action. He is commencing the Odin sleep. He must rest his weary bones and all that, you know? Okay, a little caveat. I haven't read any of the questions tonight. I haven't had time to. So you're going to be as surprised as I am. It'll be very interesting. And again, if there's some typos or whatever, you know, don't blame me. I didn't have time to edit this shit. So let's
what
get
you been up to?
Yo, man, I'm playing. Well, you know, actually, I only played 2 hours. I had, you know, I'll tell you off here what happened. You know. Anyway, let's get into it, man. I'm just gonna read this as we got him. The Great Chop. We haven't heard that name in a while. What's going on?
That is an old name.
Yes, it is. First question: are games going the same route as movies? No company really wants to take risks that hurt its bottom line. Game Pass helps since you need originals to keep subscribers. Everything's kind of going down that path. You know, it's like make the easy money. You know, play the safe route. You know,
you run into the ground, and then when that's done, then you try to make spin-offs out of it from other things.
Yeah, that's why. Why do you think you get so many remasters? So they know they're gonna sell, you know, or the same type of game mechanics. They know they work. You know, that's just how it is.
See, yeah.
Is that the case with a lot of stuff? Like, you know, video games was kind of like a form of art. There was a lot of people that, you know, were creators that made video games and were inspired by a lot of different types of stories and, you know, different things. And it feels like when corporate world gets their hands on them, it's like, how can we squeeze this for as much profit as possible? And I feel like that's the case for a lot of types of media. That's
what I said. I think,
yes.
You know, this question is obviously about video games, but I agree with that assessment. You know, I've often said that's one of my problems with anime, right? Back in the day, anime used to be inspired by a bunch of shit. Now it's just inspired by other anime because they want the safe stuff. So it's not just video games that are the problem. It's not just the movies. Everything's going through that. And Carlos, I'm glad you said it's art because art, you know, video games are art. I know some people don't want to believe that. And that's what happens with art. You get something successful, you get a million copycats. You know?
Well, yeah. Like the thing about it is, it's like they're taking the safe bets like that because of the fact that they are so expensive to do. That's part of the reason why the former head of PlayStation said the price of games need to come down.
Yeah, Sean Layden,
because what he was saying is that games are so the development of you know current games is so high that it literally stifles new ideas and new IPs.
Yeah.
Now
because if you're spending that kind of money, you got to play it safe. You know.
Yeah, you got to play it safe. So that's what we you know that's what everybody calls the PlayStation formula, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Is because you know they're sort of staying within the wheelhouse of what has already been established. And eventually, what happens is that people become so sick of getting the same things over again, then they have to redo it. That's what happened with the Halo franchise and a lot of the games that happened with Xbox. It just became to the point. No, also the original developers left, but it just became to the point where people just sort of just like, I don't know. It's just sort of the same stuff over and over again. So I feel like in general, you always these companies are going to go with the safe bet because of the plain fact is that it's something that's already been time tested, sequels, remakes, and games, that are in a genre that is a popular genre.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, when you have these mega games, I mean, again, it falls for everything, but like we're talking about games specifically. When you have these mega games, when you have games that are like they cost like $800 million to make, $1 billion to make, it's no longer 5 guys making it. It's like 800 people. So it's kind of like a lot of was a lot of chefs in the kitchen. everybody has to get there. Everything has to be by committee. Everything has to be approved, and it's always kind of just, flat. Like no crazy ideas are going to pass by. Someone's going to go, no, you shouldn't do that. It didn't work here. Oh, it hasn't been proven. Like everything has to be done by committee, because it's not just a small team.
That's why, experiences like Elden Ring, where I feel like there's more of a singular person kind of driving the ship.
You could tell that was a singular experience, or a singular vision, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
and then also,
go ahead, Carlos.
Shout out to Kishak for subscribing.
Yay. Good stuff, man.
Also, you want to say with something like an Elden Ring is that they're iterative process, but they still sort of each experience is sort of evolution of the last.
Yeah.
Elden Ring is literally not the same game as the games before them.
Yeah.
They have elements of those things, but it's like if you took it to the next level. You have these big complicated world, levels or worlds that sort of roll around themselves. Okay, so now what if you took those sorts of ideas and then put them into an open world experience?
Yeah, and it works great. So yeah, but like you go ahead.
I also don't think the overhead on a game like there's not a lot of overhead on the game like Elden Ring. It's a very attractive looking game, but it's nowhere on the polish of maybe like a PlayStation or an Xbox first party title.
No, it isn't. But and we talked about this before, how like Japanese AAA is kind of like American AA. You can tell Elden Ring, they put money into that shit. But obviously not as much. But it's like a God of War or a Spider-Man or something. But it's just they don't have that capacity. But you're right. And you still kind of get that singular vision out of Japanese games. Although on the flip side, you have Final Fantasy games, so you could tell they're made by committee nowadays. So yeah, it's just interesting. But yeah, no, it's a great question, and yeah, it applies to pretty much all media.
Yeah,
even like a game like Cyberpunk, I feel doesn't really attribute to that. I mean, it had its flaws with the whole rollout stuff, but when you see that game, and that's why that's the part that I appreciated since the beginning. It's like you could tell that they actually try to make something.
Yeah,
it's like they had a vision and they try to accomplish it. It didn't seem like they tried to make this world to see how much they can shake from you, how much money they can shake from you. Obviously they fucked up in other directions, but in terms of just what the game is supposed to be, that's sort of the type of experiences that I appreciate when it comes to video games.
And I think that's why Cyberpunk resonated so much. Despite all the bugs and all the crazy shit, you could tell there's something special in there, It's just now we finally get to see it, after they finally cleaned up. But that game is a great example. If you have a big AAA game that actually is doing something bold and like fresh, but you don't get too many. Most of the time you get Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Let's be real here, or I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
Call of Duty.
Oh, dude.
What
this is different.
Anyway, let's move on. We got more questions here. One subset. What's going on, brother? Also, since we didn't get too many questions, I am allowing the 3 questions tonight. No sponsored questions tonight, so we're good. One subset. First question: is Warframe on PlayStation still popular, or has that community died a quiet death? Brian, I'm going to go to you. I don't know how much you know about PlayStation Warframe community, but you know Warframe, so maybe you have some insight here.
I don't think I have too much of an insight, but it's, from my understanding, Warframe itself has just been slowly dying. Well, that's why I hopped off, because it was in a very bad state in terms of updates. They went from having an update every month or so, where it's just like, okay, like new stuff happening, to an update every couple of months, and then it's just the rate of updates just got really slow. So I'm not surprised if they carried on that pathway.
Yeah, I guess you kind of answer the question though. Like in general, the game's just gone down. It's not just on a specific platform. Because you're right. Didn't they have like TennoCon and shit? Like the game was big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was massive. And they had like really cool ideas and really fast updates. But then it seems like they just kind of either they got too comfortable, or maybe they got bought out by Tencent, and that became a problem. I have no idea, but it just seemed like they slowed down on the content and just everything just went to monetization instead. And obviously the fan base weren't too happy because they were like, oh yeah, like where's the content? Like they like playing the game, so give them more game, but they got less game. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I don't know if anybody else has any more they want to say about Warframe. I don't know anything. I've only played a little bit
I don't
of
know much
Warframe.
about.
I played a little bit of Warframe with Riku-san when it first came out on PlayStation. Remember, that was like a free game on PlayStation 4. So I played it. I'm like, yeah, this game's cool. But, to me, there wasn't anything special about it. So after like an hour, I stopped playing it. But, respect to people who play it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Now that FIFA is no longer under EA, would Konami or Sony pick them up? Now, isn't it like that the FIFA organization would go to someone? Isn't it that way, Adam?
It's just FIFA can sign whoever they want, but it's what you get with it. That's the problem, because all these leagues have their deals with EA. The Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, all of them, Bundesliga, that's all.
La Liga.
Yeah, La Liga. So that's the thing, and even when I did the review for the FIFA 23, and I saw a lot of people making comments, say like, "Wait, but if they're losing it, they're losing everything." No, FIFA is just the naming.
So they're just losing the
World
official
Cup.
Branding.
Yeah, and they're losing the World Cup. So the World Cup can go to whoever, but then when it still goes for the naming rights and stuff, it's up to whatever EA has the deals with those teams and with the leagues. If it's exclusive, then you're gonna see Argentina and whatever, Spain and other ones, but just numbers and not the real names, because that's all tied to what EA had. It varies, because we have right now, there's an issue with, I think it was Milan, where we don't have the EA doesn't have the names rights for them. They didn't have that with Juventus last year, but now they got the rights. It's all like, because some teams can work out their own deals with EA as opposed to the league working out the deal. Anyway, it's going to be that type of thing. So if FIFA jumps, which it will, I'm sure it'll get picked up by whoever, but it's not going to be the experience that you think. And a lot of people seem to get this idea that all of soccer is under FIFA, and that if FIFA goes somewhere, then everything carries over. That's not the case at all, because like I mentioned, it's all separate contracts. And that's an issue that EA is definitely going to have to deal with, because a lot of people are really confused. Sort of like what we talked about when people see a Call of Duty, you said that added to PlayStation, they think it's only on PlayStation. It's the same thing. They see FIFA and they're going to see that with Konami or whatever, whoever. I'm like, oh, damn, it's going to have all the teams. No, it's going to have whatever teams were in the World Cup. But that's it. It's not going to have everything else unless they can work out separate deals. And EA is real bullish when it comes to all of that, which is why even Konami, when they had their soccer game, didn't have all the naming rights.
Yep. It's why it was called Pro Evolution Soccer, and not FIFA. Something
they couldn't do it. They had Champions League. That was their big selling point. And then when that contract ran up, they wanted money. Konami can't pay it. EA said we could. And then they got the Champions League. Then they had exclusive rights for Camp Nou for Barcelona's. That's their stadium. And then they lost that, and that showed up in EA. So it's a lot of money involved, and it takes deep pockets. Right now, no one has deeper pockets in the soccer sports game than EA. Remember, that Ultimate Team and stuff, that makes buku bucks. Seeing the numbers, they make so much money from it. So they can throw whatever money if someone's thinking about, hey, and who knows, maybe one of these clubs will put that type of leverage. It's like, hey, FIFA just signed a new deal with X company here. Maybe, we have no contract this year. Maybe we renegotiate that price, or else we're going to work something out with them. But it's up to that other publisher to fork up the money to get the rights for that, or just the itself. But that hasn't happened. EA has all these leagues, and I've yet to see another game come out with any licensed league names. It seems like they have rights for video games to put them in, sort of like what they have with Madden. Yeah, so that's why am I expecting anything? The answer, no. Even it doesn't matter who picks it up, unless you're into just the World Cup. then that's it. But if you want all the other things that come with it, which usually is league play, because all these players are coming from their respective league stars and clubs, you're not going to get that.
Yeah. All right. By the way, I just realized something.
Oh.
Daylight savings time, and Brian's here on time.
Oh.
Yeah,
Brian, what happened?
We changed a week before you.
Oh, so you got used to it. Because usually when we do daylight savings times, you're off by like a week. You know, for a whole week, you're like off and shit, you know?
Yeah, like, you guys changed when? Like
this weekend.
Week? Yeah, we changed last weekend.
That's what happened then. Yeah, because literally for years, you know, it's like, oh, where's Brian? Daylight saving time. Then an hour later, you show up. It's consistent. You know,
one thing though, just
Mighty Nerd was like, yo, did you guys start an hour late? No, bro. We on time, baby. Anyway, last thing.
Just to link this up, just so people know, the World Cup is in this FIFA. So the World Cup that's happening in 2 weeks, that's still going to be in this FIFA. It's after this one, the next 4 years. So we'll find out what other happens after, but that's in this one.
Cool. All right. Another one from Mr. One Subset. Would Activision revive Pitfall to be in the style of Uncharted or Tomb Raider once it gets acquired? Who knows? It'd be nice, but who knows?
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, it seems like a given, right?
Well, not really. We haven't heard Pitfall in fucking ages.
No, but I'm saying, like, it seems like a given if they were going to try to attract that sort of action adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of attempted to sort of revive Pitfall before, you know, with a more like a Super Nintendo.
They made one.
They made the original one. Then in the Super Nintendo era, they made another one that was more modern.
Yeah.
So if they want to attract that sort of audience, I could see them doing that, essentially reviving it and essentially going with the Uncharted route with it, giving Pitfall Harry a bit of a more of a personality.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it could work. That'd be cool. All right. Moving on here to Meke, who's joining us tonight. First question. With that clip on Twitter of the dude living his best life, I'll explain that in a minute. Coming down the escalator with he does explain it. With the clip of the dude living his best life, coming down the escalator with a PS5 and a 4090 under each arm and his girl by his side, I thought I'd ask the crew for their experiences where they came out of a store absolutely stoked for their purchase. This is a fun question.
This is a fun question.
Yeah. Manny, I remember when Manny bought the PS3 version of Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 4, right? Manny grabbed that fucking because remember this is the PS3. People were fucking getting shot for these things, right?
Yeah.
Manny grabbed this fucking thing like it was like holding on to his life. Ran around the corner to the taxi service,
and we out.
We were gone. We couldn't get shot. We don't know.
Yeah, man. We don't want. Fuck that shit, man. I ain't getting held up for my fucking shit.
Yeah, we got in that taxi real quick. Yeah, man. Because I had gotten my PS3 the month beforehand when GTA 4 came out. So I was there with you to get the game, but you were there to get the game and the special edition system or whatever. Was it a bundle or something?
Yeah, what happened was it was the regular edition of Metal Gear Solid 4 was bundled with the console.
Yeah.
I bought the console and the special edition version of Metal Gear 4. So I was just going to give you the copy that came with my PlayStation.
Yeah.
And when
was
you pay me for that, whatever. Huh?
It was
it was packed, yeah, cuz it was it was like for Metal Gear 5, so I mean 4. So
there wasn't another game coming out that same time, was there?
No, that was the other time you're thinking about is when Uncharted 2 or 3 came out.
Yeah.
And Brutal Legend.
It was
Brutal Legend came out on the same day.
Yeah, I remember that. That shit was crazy.
Literally, everybody online was there, because that was one of those occasions where I literally picked up two things at the same time. So everybody's like, Uncharted. And me and you are like, Uncharted and Brutal Legend.
Give me both of them, yeah. I also remember, and there's another one, Manny, because we did at the same time when we got our Dreamcasts.
Yeah,
that was huge too. Because that summer we pre-ordered them, right, and we paid them all off. Them in a couple of games. So that day we went. That was good. That was at the Queen Center Mall. I think we bought them at.
Yeah, we went to the Queen Center Mall.
Yeah, that was hype as fuck.
But then there's also the other one, the crazy journey with me and you, which was to get the Sega not the Sega Dreamcast, the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
On that release day, it was fucking cold as hell.
Oh yeah! Oh shit! I almost forgot about that. Yeah. Yes,
because they were at the time they released the Sega Saturn earlier than it was supposed to be released.
Yeah, and it was weird because it was like around May or something, but it was fucking cold for some reason.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
May and it's cold in New York. So yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, those were hype Sega moments, man. Actually, I'm noticing a theme: consoles in general. But what else can you get more hype for than a game console? That's like the ultimate fucking thing.
I remember the same thing. It was like when I got my what was it, the Panasonic 3DO, because Adam and I, Adam had a friend that was lived pretty close to him who had the Panasonic 3DO, and I remember we went over.
Remember that? That was across the street.
It was across the street. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and he played all those games. We're like, man, we really want that thing, because we were all about Sega CD back in those days.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That was nuts. What? Soundgarden actually playing in a game? Music in a game? Real music like that?
Not full motion video that didn't look like it was a old animated GIF.
Holy, man, I always remember that. That blew my mind. I remember I wound up getting a job over the summer, at a flea market selling shoes and stuff. I did everything I could to make money. And that thing was the cheapest, like $700 or something like that.
I managed to get when I got mine. They were somewhat clearing out the old versions of the of the 3DO, and they were moving to that slim one.
Oh,
so they were
Gold
all
Star one, or Gold Star.
Yeah, it was like the Gold Star or whatever. It was like a newer version that they were sort of phasing out. So they're phasing out the original version of it, and the store that we went to actually had it for cheaper than what it was. So I think it was like $600, as I remember, right? And it was less than that. It was like in the $300 range.
Crazy.
But it was for the old one.
Just to show how it's a different time. So I while doing it, I knew I was going to have any money for games. So on the back of the comics, there was always those weird game trade-in sites forums, and it was like,
it wasn't a comic. It was probably like a game fan or something like that.
It was something. I just remember a slip that was in anything, and I had to fill it out and check the ones, and it said how much they would give me for whatever games.
Yeah, you had to check the checklist to see what you would get for it. Yeah.
So I packed up almost all my Sega CD games and some other games from other consoles that I had. I checked all the boxes. I did the total of how much it would cost, and then it said, would you like to trade? It was on the other side of whatever game. And then I checked that I want. I got Shockwave. I got the FIFA one. Of course, Road Rash was there. No, Mom bought me Road Rash because I remember that was definitely Shockwave, Monsters Manor, right? And something else. Anyway, I packed up my games and I sent it off to God knows where.
Yep.
It's like, and I waited weeks. Who knows? That could have never arrived. You know what I mean? There was no internet access for this type of thing. This was just me filling out a damn form, packing up all my games, and hoping for the best. And sure enough, a few weeks later, a box showed up, and it had the games in there, and it was a check for whatever remained. It was like $5 or $6. And I was like, shoot, there you go. It worked.
Yeah. All right, so Carlos, most hype game purchase from a store.
Game purchase.
Yeah, that when you left the store, you're like, fuck.
Well, the most, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it's hype too. I guess the most memorable one for me was the 360. It came out, 2005? So I was in high school. And I remember it was during a school day, and me and a buddy, we lined up on I think it was a Target, like at 4 a.m. And there's like this long ass line, right? So we barely made up with an Xbox. And I remember we were all hyped. We were on the news. We were celebrating and stuff. And then, we packed up our 360s in my trunk, in my car, drove to school. And I think it was like homecoming day or homecoming week or something. So like the teachers didn't really care about like us not showing up to class like during that time. And I remember we called up all the buddies. We went to my car. It was parked by the school. Opened it up, showing up 360. We're all like, "Oh shit! Oh my! It's the new Xbox." We're all hyped and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty. It's a memorable one. The other ones are, especially the last ones, are pretty lackluster since I got them all off of Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, you're right. I think the PS3 was probably the last big one from because PS4 had that shipped, PS5 had that shipped, PS4 Pro had that shipped.
The Switch was another hyped one because I remember we lined up. I think it was on a GameStop. We lined up to get the Switch, and not the Switch, the Nintendo Wii. My bad, Nintendo Wii. It was 2006, and I remember we got it. We got it day one, and we're all like, bet. And then we figured out later that shit was impossible to get. Apparently, we're like, I guess we got lucky. So I remember just thinking like the whole time, like, damn, we're the only people that got the Switch. We got the Nintendo Wii, because after that, it was kind of like how consoles are, the newer consoles are today, where it was almost impossible to get back then. It was super high demand, and Wii bowling and stuff got super hype. So yeah, but yeah, those days, they're not really gonna happen.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, they're done. Especially, we we're old too. We don't get hyped about shit anymore.
Yeah, we're old and
curmudgeonly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, damn, that's kind of sad. We're never gonna get that feeling ever again. Oh well.
Oh yeah.
Brett, what about you?
Speak for yourself. I don't get that. I still smell every one of my goddamn consoles, man.
Oh shit! Good for you.
Like,
yeah. What was your most memorable one? Like any? And what was your most memorable game purchase? That when you left the store, you're like, "Fuck, I got it."
Dude, I was really excited when I got the Switch because I was like, "Oh fuck, here comes Breath of the Wild." Like I was really excited for Breath of the Wild. I was a huge Zelda fan, and it was kind of the spiritual successor to I'm drawing a blank on the name. The old school one back in the day, 64 one, not Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time. There we go. So I was really excited about that. But honestly, other than that, like I haven't bought a whole lot of shit in the stores. At least definitely not like since I want to. Okay, here we go. The last thing that I walked out of the store really excited like that was when Rachel got her PS4, and we brought it back, and that made it so we had 2 TVs, 2 PS4s, and we could game together. We were fucking stoked. But, since then, everything's been pandemic and online shopping, so. I can tell you, I got super fucking excited because I got the email that my Steam Deck had gotten here before it was, so I came running home like I had the golden ticket on that one.
Nice. All right, Brian.
I'm sensing like a theme here, Yeah, I'm mostly in the same boat. PS3, got that from the store. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, got it from the store on the way home from university. And I was excited because it came with 2 games. Those 2 games were, and get this, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I know, right? Somehow I got it like 10 years early. And God of War 3. And I was just really hype, So I'm like, cool, I get to actually finally play like the ending part of God of War and enjoy it. And I was excited, got home, just played it for like the whole day until the guys got online, then had to play Modern Warfare 2. Wasn't very happy about that, but couldn't really do much. And like with you guys, everything else has been online. Like, I got my PS4, but I walked into the shop, bought it, and walked out. No real fanfare with that one. PS5 just ordered online. Just feels really weird that you can just order a console online and then it comes to you. Like the days of
right.
having to get it to the stores just aren't there anymore. And I never really noticed that until this question. But yeah, it's a fair point.
So
Good
there's
stuff.
there's a video of someone that bought a what? I forgot what the inspiration of the question was.
Oh, okay. So basically, there was this. I don't know what country this is from, right? It looked Japanese, but I could be wrong. Could be, I don't know, whatever. So the video was this dude was on an escalator coming down. This dude, one hand, he was holding a PS5 console on one hand, and then on the other hand, he's holding a 4090 graphics card and a hot girl next to him, and she's like rubbing the PlayStation and shit. And she's like really close. You could tell that's his girlfriend. I'm like, yo, this dude is living his best life right now. Bomb ass console, bomb ass GPU, and a hot girlfriend. Like, good for you, sir. Salute. You know, that was fucking awesome.
That's probably not Japan, because I don't know how that shit's gonna fit in those apartments.
Yeah, it was probably Korea, maybe. Who knows? You know. But either way, whatever the country of origin, respect to this dude. You know. Anyway, moving on here. Next question. Which franchises need to take a long break, not get a sequel, but definitely need a return ASAP?
Which franchises definitely need to return ASAP?
Yeah, so he goes, example, Call of Duty is finally taking a short break, but does the series actually need to? It still sells huge numbers, and its fans are happy to buy one every year. Bloodborne, does it actually need a sequel, or is it better off being a one and done? God of War with the Norse story finished after 2 games. Should the series take another break? I guess, if I reading again, I didn't have a chance to edit this, so I don't know if I'm reading the question correctly here. Dumeka, you're in the chat.
Halo needs to come back and get fixed. They need
Halo,
to fix
and that needs
they
to
need
be on
that
a hiatus.
No, they can't do. They already tried that. Didn't work. They need to fix that shit now.
When did they go on a hiatus? They've been pumping these games out forever. They never stopped.
No, man. It was a few years since Halo. The last Halo before Infinite.
5? I thought it was like a couple of years. It wasn't that long.
A couple of years is there. There you go. That's a couple of years. It's not a yearly release.
Well, Halo 5 came out like in 2015, I think.
Yeah, let me see. Halo 5.
Halo 5? I thought it came out in 2017.
These things.
Oh,
no.
shit. Even then, if it did come out in 2017, that's a long time.
2015. That's what I'm saying. That's a long time. So here it is. We get Infinite, and it's got all kinds of damn problems. So they need to jump back on that bike and fix this shit. Because if they let it linger too long, by the time nobody will give a shit.
Yeah, here's the question. It's like a 3-part question. Okay, he goes, just are there any game series you feel need a break or not return or definitely need a new version of? I'll
stick with that. We need a new version of Halo Infinite. They need to do a remaster a year later. Just do it. Get that shit fixed. This is ridiculous. It's gonna have such a bad taste in everyone's mouth every time another Halo comes out. They need to get rid of 343.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, they need a new development. They need some sort of like when you go to a store that had bad food, whatever, and then next time you go to new management, you're willing to give it a try. New management. Okay. Maybe you got a new cook. Same shit. They need new cooks on this game. Because this is horrible. And it's a shame that the franchise has gone down the tubes like it has.
Let's see, because it is a 3-part question here. What series needs to take a break? I still say Halo needs to take a break, like a 10-year break.
No.
You know?
No one. By the time they come back, no one will give a shit.
I don't think they give a shit now, but you know.
Because think about it, 10-year break. They say, they're coming back. And then you're like, what was the last game? Like Infinite was garbage. Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
what was the one before
right.
that? It was also garbage. What about 4? You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
I should have never brought it up. Let's go with Gear 7. You want to go pick up Gear 7? Yeah, I'll pick.
Damn. Yeah, you're right, because you got to leave off on a high note, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. What series needs to not return? Last of Us. We're done. We're done with that bullshit.
Did they plan? Did they say? Are they done?
They're going to come out with another one. Last of Us should have been a one and done game. That first game was great on its own. Great ending. Should have left it alone. Then 2 came and fucked the whole series up. You know.
They don't know how to do that.
What needs a new version? I don't know.
What game needs it? Oh, well, wait. Any game?
Any game, yeah.
Manhunt. Rockstar Manhunt.
Sure.
Remaster that shit. Bring that back. I understand it was very controversial, caused a lot of headaches for Rockstar. And so they toned it down with Manhunt 2, remember? And that was garbage. They should have left it alone. But yeah, I would love a remake of that or The Warriors. they could redo the words. They did a great job with that. So spruce it up, put it to 4K. Graphics that we have now, no. Those two.
Yeah. Right. Anybody else?
Assassin's Creed just needs to go away for a good hot minute, man.
Yeah.
Even they're coming out with like 6 new games.
They're doing the opposite of what they really should be doing.
Yeah. They're like, hey, you want to take a break? Okay, we'll do 6 more games. How about that? And I think I may be underselling it, but I think it may be more than like, that's a ton of fucking games.
Most of those are mobile. That's the thing when they show.
Yeah, like they have like 2 real ones coming out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was a Japanese game where you guys were asking about?
I think next week is a big week. Huh?
No, I don't. No more big weeks, man.
No, this one. Well, maybe not for you. Well, maybe it is for you.
I hope not. I don't want to review no more hardware.
No, not to review. No. Yeah, the 8th. This is it. Halo co-op release.
Oh, I stopped giving a fuck
on the 8th. I have not played the campaign because I was waiting to play it in co-op. That's how you do with Halo.
Yeah.
Finally, the 8th. But is it 4-player or 2-player? It's got to be 4. Right? It's got to be.
Too much Silent Hill already. Man, nobody asked us about Hassan. I wanted to talk about that motherfucker. But
I was about to say Abandon needs to die.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah,
I wanted to talk about Hassan. This motherfucker came out the woodwork. All right, bro. Shut up. No one cares anymore. You know?
Shut up.
Yeah, so there you go. That's a game that needs to go away. Abandoned. No, he needs to go away. You know?
The dude used... He always uses an opportunity to try to hype up his game. And Kojima just randomly mentioned, he's like, yeah, this game that, people keep telling me about, it's like, yeah, I'm not involved with this bullshit. And
I like the way he's like, he needs to hurry up and release it.
Yeah, he's and then the dude Hassan, he's like, oh, it's like, yeah, me and Kojima, just a bunch of developers. Why do they, putting us in together with this kind of stuff, right?
Well, shut up,
it's
you
like,
fucking
it's
asshole.
It's like what, motherfucker, wake up. You know what the fuck you were doing.
Exactly.
Stop playing.
It's like, come on now. That dude is something else, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say, I did check. Shout out to Young. Yeah, I did see one of his videos. I don't know if you guys saw his video on this most recent stuff. And
I didn't. I should check it out though. What do you say?
He was calling out Hassan about his bullshit. But then I was thinking, wasn't Yang one of the people that were kind of propagating the rumor?
Kind of.
He was one of the ones that was essentially saying, "Hey, could this be what it is?" Yada yada and all that.
Young, yeah.
Young, yeah.
Shout out to Young, yeah. I like his content, but I'm like, because he was one of the people that were in that camp where it's like, yo, man, I kept telling our buddy Frankie B, I'm like, yo, man, this is definitely some bullshit.
Frankie B, son, my man was hitting me with those DMs, like this full on conspiracy.
I'm like, this is definitely this is not gonna happen, man. This is not. I don't know what you guys are seeing. But there was a contingency of people that were definitely sold with the theories.
Mob Hits goes Throwdown. He's making a Flash game. Who Flash? I'll play that game. Oh man. All right, let's move on here.
The only thing I don't like about that song is it starts with like them talking.
But if you listen to the real one, like. The real version of the song, that movie stuff isn't in there,
Yeah.
That stuff like we only have 24 hours to save the earth. That stuff is not, and the real song's longer too,
Oh yeah.
You that bass, man. You're ready to roll, Queen baby. All right. What game that you were? We've kind of answered this, but I'm asking it again just because I want Brett to list off like the 5 games he has. Okay, what game that you were super hyped for ended up being a huge disappointment? Mine was the most Brian, his was for Horizon Forbidden West. I thought it looked great and I only heard great things, but when I got it home, I fired up. It was the most cookie cutter sequel and should have been renamed Generic the Game. It was a From Software. If it was a From Software game, it would have been called Soulless.
It would have been called Dark Soulless.
Yeah. So, Brad, I'm just tossing this to you. Name some games that you were hyped for that ended up being a disappointment.
Cyberpunk, Witcher. I didn't even mean to do CD Projekt Red games in a row.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I was just like, Cyberpunk, although, let me put some asterisks on those. Cyberpunk, although I went back, played it later, and I enjoyed it. Witcher just wasn't for me, man. It's a good game. It's just never really hooked me. I kept wanting it to. Seems like it should, but yeah, it just never really did. I mean, other than that, like, I don't know why you're throwing this to me. I'm usually like,
I threw it at you because
like
you're the guy that like usually gets hyped up for a game and then the game doesn't turn out to be all that, or it doesn't.
No, dude, I like liking games. I enjoy liking things, man. I'm generally a pretty optimistic person. I'm of the camp of, fucking enjoy 6 out of 10 games, man. Right? So like,
well, you're one of those guys, huh?
Yeah, dude, I play video games to have fun, man. Like, I'm gonna try and find the good in there, and a lot of times, even if there's not a lot, I can make some of my own fun. So I'm trying to think. Like, I'm not like a lot of you guys, where I get super pumped up for a game, and then don't at least find some way to enjoy it, unless it's like Returnal, where it fucking breaks on me, or
were you hyped for that, though?
Dying Light 2. Returnal, I was super hyped for Returnal. That just straight up disappointed me. Dying Light 2, that thing disappointed me because it bugged out so bad I could never finish the game. And by the time they finally fixed it, it was like a month later and Elden Ring was out. So fuck you.
Yo, Brett, I do have a question for you.
What's up?
I always forget what your relationship is with Ark. Because I always remember you were the Ark guy, but then you didn't, like, did they change it, or was it a disappointment? I always forget about that game.
Oh, no, Ark is honestly one of my favorite gaming experiences ever. I just, there's a couple things with it. One, I got everything I wanted to out of it. I couldn't beat the experience that I had. But also it was a game that Rachel and I liked really playing together. And a lot of those kind of building survival multiplayer games, like, I like playing them with other people. But I will say, like, okay, so the deal with Ark was, we started and we kind of created a little tribe, and everything was going great until when we had first gone in, we had gone in with a tribe under a guy named Aslorn. Now, Aslorn was kind of a douchebag and probably a tweaker, so we ended up bailing, and he left the server, left the land, never to be heard from again. So we're sitting there, and we're slowly coming up in power, and there's a rival tribe, and they're a real militant tribe with a guy at the helm named Madness. Now, Madness was always giving us the stink eye, but we kind of played a merchant tribe. So we were fairly neutral, and we supplied basically armaments. We were arms dealers for the entire server. Supplied armaments to both sides, let everybody fight. But as we were doing this, unbeknownst to us, Aslord had come back to the server. He had gone into Madness's tribe and was starting to whisper in his ear about how we could be a threat. So Madness started to get paranoid. Started looking at all the armaments, all the things that we had, all the big giant safe that we had put on a 3rd-story tripod so that nobody could get to it. Because the second you tried to blow the door to get to it, the ladder was in the vicinity. So you would destroy the ladder and have no way to get up. So we started actually posing a real fucking threat. Then one day, we see him like hovering around the outside. Now, we knew what was going on. We had just built a giant new base in a huge, like, stone lagoon. We call it Pirates Cove. And we were jamming pretty hard. We were up to like 14 people. So we see these guys kind of hiding around the background. And then all of a sudden, Aslorn comes out, starts talking shit. His tribe comes out of the forest, comes running at us. We see Madness still standing on the edge. Writing's on the wall. We see that he's just waiting for the time to come in. He thinks that we're only getting a one-headed attack. We know we're getting a dual pincher attack. So at this point, Rachel tells our bomb team to go ahead and grab all the explosives and disappear themselves into the jungle. Find this guy's base and wring the entire bottom of it. Level that shit. So Rachel then starts talking shit to Madness and his girlfriend. Says to his girlfriend, "Hey, I saw your base. It looks like it was built by an autist." To which she goes, "I am autistic, you bitch." She goes, "Best response ever. Just ... Called it." Oh my god, they got so mad. They lost all sense. Came straight at us. We beat them down, destroyed them. But then here comes Madness coming in. Well, Madness is coming in, we realize they're after our entire loot, our hoard, and we are not going to let them have it. So we destroy the vault that it's in and decide to make a last stand there. Everything takes 5 minutes to despawn. We're going to make sure none of these motherfuckers gets a thing. So we destroyed the vault and fought into the last until every one of those motherfuckers dissolved. We got wiped from the server, but we went down fighting and nobody got a fucking thing. After that, they turned the green pillar that was right next to our base, the green pillar of light, turned red. I'd like to say it was from the blood of the fallen. And it was just one of those, such an immersive storytelling experience that, like, there's no narrative game that I could have played that touched that. Because every one of those situations was a real situation. It wasn't something that was planned by developers. It wasn't something that was in the safe lines. It wasn't something that I could load and try again. Every decision was life or death, consequences. It felt like what a video game was supposed to be, because the stakes were actually there. It felt like it meant something. And it left me with a story that I will remember for fucking ever. I can't tell you, only a handful of games have ever done that for me. And that's one of the big reasons why I'm such a huge fan of emergent storytelling.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, that was dope. That was dope. Actually, for the actual question, games that disappointed you. I know for a fact there's been games I was hyped for that disappointed, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. If somebody can remind me, please do. No, I was not hyped for that fucking game. You know, I was, that doesn't count because I kind of knew what I was getting into, and pretty bad.
You know what? I can't say I was disappointed. I feel like I have been the victim.
Oh, I got one, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like I've had situations when I didn't listen to the spider sense that said to me, no, this game's not that good. Before I've even decided to actually play it. And I feel like the most telling example was Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Oh.
I went into that game. I'm like, by all means, this should be a good game. But I had that thought in the back of my head. I'm like, just something seems off about this. I shouldn't buy this, but by all means, it's got everything that, all the things that I would like about a game. It's got, it's action game, like sort of God of War type of idea. It's one of those sorts of action adventure games. It's got Kojima involved. You can't go against that. So it's like, okay, so all these different things going for it. I tried it out and it was just an utter. I just hated being right, and it kept getting worse.
I remember you lent me that game, and I was so happy I didn't buy it. What a terrible game that was!
What a terrible game! One of the only games that I've bought with my own money that I just sold the fuck back. I just said, "Fuck this thing." After you finished it, you gave it back to me. You're like, "Meh," and I'm like, "Yeah, exactly." And I sold that game, and I think I forgot what I bought instead. And it was new. So
yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go off of that because I can name at least some of these games, like, games that, because I'm, when I bought physical games, I was the type of guy, I do not sell them. I keep my games. Mm-hmm. If I sell a game, that means it's so bad, I don't want it in my presence, and I had two of them with PlayStation 4, ironically enough. I bought Killzone, Shadowfall, and Knack on day one. I sold both of those. I beat them. Beat them and sold them back. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want this shit in my fucking house. These games suck, Mm-hmm. But the one that really I'm talking about disappointed me because I was hyped, right? Because they had two things I liked. You had Metal Gear and you had Platinum Games. You can't go wrong here. And it's Raiden. I was one of the few people that liked Raiden. Like, Revenge is going to be fucking amazing. Platinum Games, they were just coming off of Bayonetta and Vanquish. So Vanquish. They were like the studio, right? I played this game, one of the worst fucking games I've ever played. Like, the gameplay was good, but everything else about it was complete fucking trash. Level design was boring. The enemies were boring. The dialogue was atrocious. The story was terrible. I was like, wow, after that game, I've never trusted Platinum Games ever again. I was like, nope, I don't trust any. Like, I need to play the game myself and see if it's actually okay. Like Nier Automata kind of brought me back to Platinum, but I didn't trust them for a long time after that piece of shit game. What a terrible fucking experience that was. You know?
Yeah, one of those situations that I said, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
the Spider Sense went on off.
Yeah,
on that
thankfully
one.
I didn't buy it. Because I got sent a review code, right? That was one of the worst fucking reviews I've ever written. I went off on that fucking game, right? Oh, speaking about that, another one I was hyped for that I gave 2 games in my life. I gave, we didn't have any scores on FCA Play, but I eviscerated them. The other one was Resident Evil 6. What a piece of shit that was. And I was looking forward to it because I like 5, so I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Wow, that was bad. I don't know what's worse, Revengeance or Resident Evil. I don't know. They were both just absolute worst. At least Revengeance had good gameplay. Resident Evil didn't even have that. But gameplay is not enough for me. You need everything else too. What a piece of shit that was.
I will say this about Resident Evil 6. My girlfriend, used to play video games, not a lot, but Resident Evil 6 is the game that literally was the straw that broke the camel's back. And she totally gave up playing video games after playing.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yep.
Jesus.
She's like, what the, like, she was playing the Ada Wong section. She's like, what the fuck is this? I'm done. Fuck this shit. And she just turned the shit off and just would stop playing.
Never stopped
playing. She
playing.
never went back to playing anything. Yep.
That's crazy, man. All right. I'm pretty sure there's some games in the past. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Manny, Final Fantasy 8.
Oh man. You know what? And you went back to that shit too.
I did. I hate finished it, I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to I've hate beaten a few games. There was one Blood Rain game that was like a side-scrolling 2D game. I hated that fucking game, but I finished it, You know
what? I would also, I put Final Fantasy 8. I was disappointed with that game because it wasn't because, obviously they don't tell you this, but the game, as if you gained levels, the game got harder. So if you were a higher level, you had to get, the game got stupidly hard.
The
so you
draw
literally
system is what got
and
me.
then there was the draw system. What was it? Xenogears.
Oh,
also.
That's controversial.
Yeah, I didn't like that game. I sold it. I just because it took so long to get to the fucking point. Like I was on like disc 2, and I'm like, when is the fucking plot to this shit gonna start? There's all this shit that was this garbage that was in the way. Then I find out that the third disc is like even worse. Like I was on disc 2 and on disc 3 they said there was barely anything in it. I'm like, okay, so that was like later on. So I'm like, okay, I guess it was good for me to just get rid of this thing because I just could not stand that game.
Yeah. Mob Hits asked, "Did you like Resident Evil 5?" Yeah, Manny and I played that game co-op. That was a fun.
Oh yeah,
game.
we got the platinum in that game.
Yeah, that was a good game.
It was a great series. It used to be a great series.
What about the rest of you guys? Any games that you were hyped for that you were disappointed in?
Resident Evil 6 is definitely one of them for me. Because I like you guys, I really enjoyed Resident Evil 5, and obviously 4 was a classic. The Devil May Cry 4.
Oh my god, yeah, Devil May Cry 4. That's another one.
That's always going to be in the archives of major disappointments for me. Final Fantasy. You're not going to agree with this one, Tony. Final Fantasy 13.
I could understand why though, Carlos. That's the thing. I like that game, but I fully understand all the criticisms.
If that game was just Grand Pulse, mostly like that, I would have loved this game. But after going through like 20 some hours of what they made me do at the beginning, I'm like this, and because I feel like a lot of people were hyped for that game, and and it's like a really polarizing game now. Either you love it or you really despise it. And I'm on the despise camp.
Final Fantasy 13 is like the episode 1 of the series. Like it was so heavily marketed. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Like it was like you had like Zaz fucking cups and shit. Like it was crazy. But then it came out. You're like, The
graphics looked crazy at that time.
Yeah, man.
Lightning looked like a badass character. It's it was pretty heavily hyped. trying to think of another game. But yeah, those are the major ones. Another one I was it was more ignorance more than anything, and I always mention these types of questions. Sub-Zero, I was super hyped because I thought I was gonna get a fighting game that was primarily with Sub-Zero, but it ended up being a side-scrolling kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember it kind of related. I remember, and I've told this story on air before, where like I bought Sim City for Super Nintendo because Bowser was on there. I'm like, oh shit, I got to destroy cities with fucking Bowser, you know. And then it turns out it's this fucking shitty building game, and sometimes Bowser comes out. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, you know? So yeah, that turned me off that entire fucking genre, you know. All right, Adam, you got any games that you were hyped for that you were disappointed in?
Games that I was hyped for.
The last two Call of Duties?
No. Well, Vanguard. That was, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but you just brought a Call of Duty and I'm doing this other Call of Duty. So yeah, Vanguard was very disappointing because with Cold War we had multiple endings, dialogue choices. It really changed things up because you didn't have that. Before it was just linear, run and gun, shoot everything that moves. It's not on your. But this was like, no, you can go here. Yeah, you don't have to kill this dude. You want to save this guy? All right, you want to go find this code? Go find this code. And Vanguard, I was like, all right, you're going to implement some of that. That's going to carry over. That didn't. It went back to just linear, just run and gun, snipe, shoot, run here. All right, thanks for playing. Go do some multiplayer. It's like, oh, man. So that was a letdown. And now, you know, with Modern Warfare 2, they went back to the linear. Yeah, they got a bunch of other things, but they didn't bring that choice back. I miss that. I really do miss it. So, yeah, Vanguard. I was let down by Vanguard.
All right. Brian, what about you? Any game you were hyped for that you were disappointed in?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Because most of the games that I enjoyed, that I was disappointed in, I wasn't really excited for. Most of the games that I was excited for, I was not really disappointed in, per se. So, no, I got nothing.
Gotham Knights. I was happy because I missed, because of the Batman and stuff. I love those Batman games. I was like, oh, this would be great, fine. I thought it was going to be a swerve that he's dead, you know, that type of thing. And I'm playing. I was like, what the hell? I still hope that they do something to fix things up. But my hype was real for that one.
All right, good stuff. Let's move on here. Ace Ali, what is your current game of the year, and are there any more upcoming games that might unseat it? Like I said, I'm personally still debating between God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. I'll decide after I beat God of War again, because I'm playing it at my own pace instead of just rushing it for the review. Callisto Protocol is not going to unseat any of those games. I'll tell you that right now. That's the only. I tweeted about this earlier today. Like, that's literally the only other game I'm going to play this year. So this year, I would have played less than 10 games total. Pretty bad year, you know. But the games that I did play were at least good, you know. So there's that. Except Saints Row, basura, you know. So no current game of the year for me right now. I'm still up in the air. Adam, Call of Duty, I'm guessing.
No.
Turtles?
No.
No, what is it?
I don't think I have one. I don't think that.
We're going to actually answer this question at the end of the year, you know.
Because like Elden Ring, I didn't play it. No interest in that. The God of War, I got to be in a mood to play God of War, that type of thing. Like with the kid and doing that, everything. Every time I play, even when I play it now on the Steam Deck, I just keep thinking of BioShock Infinite. And with Elizabeth and dealing with that whole thing, I feel like, I don't know what it is. I love it, but I don't know. So even this, I have no desire right now to play it. I'll play it eventually, but it's not for me. And I can't think of any, because for a game of the year, it has to be a game that I can recommend to everyone. And the games that I play, most of it's not going to be for everyone. And so I don't have it.
Yeah. Manny, do you have anything? Current at the moment.
I mean, I guess my two favorite games of the year were Stray and the Turtles, the new Turtles game. I mean, I feel like that's the only two that then I played the previous one, but yeah, I think that's the only two modern games I've played so far.
Yeah, so
kind of weird, right?
it's been a bad year, man.
Yeah.
Carlos, you have a current one at the moment?
Yeah, it's shocker. Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I still have yet to play God of War, which is could definitely be in the running if it turns out to be as good as a lot of people are saying. Callisto Protocol, I guess, is a dark horse because that's the only other game that I'm excited to play before the year ends. So those are potentially the two games that could unseat it. But I mean, this year hasn't been that many games that have been enticed me to play. So, and honestly, Elden Ring would probably win in most years if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I feel like that game would have been game of the year before and the year before that for me.
Yeah. Brett, do you have a current game of the year?
Yeah, Elden Ring, and nothing can do anything to unseat Elden Ring.
There you go.
That's definitely my game of the year.
And Brian, you're the wild card since you don't really play new games like that.
Well,
I am indeed.
Yeah, so there you go.
But I actually do have a current game of the year, mostly because it's the most fun game I played this year by far. And it actually came out at the start of the year.
So it counts.
Yes. And Tony's gonna laugh at this one. But then I guess it just shows just how bad the year has been. Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Well, the problem is every other game I played was kind of just not that fun. Like Ghostwire Tokyo was just kind of meh, Saints Row was Saints Row. The less said about that, the better. Pokemon Legends Arceus had a really annoying start.
Was that this year?
So yeah, it just kind of wins by
Atreus,
default.
right? Yeah.
Atreus.
So yeah, it's win by default. But I have to admit, Callisto Protocol is looking really nice. I was watching some dev diaries while this morning, and it's starting to hook me in like very, very well. So I'm kind of getting excited about that. And as you know, I don't play Forbidden West and Elden Ring because I don't see the point in those. I already know how I'm going to feel about open world Dark Souls and Horizon 2 Dinosaur Boogaloo, I guess.
Yo, Brian, did you prefer Strangers of Paradise as opposed to Stray? I know you like Stray, but I don't know if you liked it that much.
Stranger of Paradise was just more fun to play. Again, Stray was good. Can't have no real faults against it. Just that Stranger of Paradise was just fun because again, you could have builds and crazy powers, and the characters was just really. The characters was I don't know if they were really eccentric on purpose or by accident, but it just seemed to work in that I just didn't care. And of course, the ending. If you know the ending, then you know the ending.
Oh.
Yeah, it had a very twist, and again, it drew you in with the memes, but then it sold you on the heart at the end.
Interesting.
Oh, I do have one. I'll do it. WWE 2K22. That is a solid game for anyone who likes action and fighting and story and creation, because the custom creation center is ridiculous. You could add real world stuff into it, images, and the online actually works. It's got all these modes. Everything just works. Yeah, it had some little issues at launch with some of the other areas that were crashing, but they resolved those, and it's a solid experience, and it's got everybody. And if it doesn't have what you want, you can make it, and they don't give a shit. Go ahead, make AW guys, XPW, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I would recommend that to anybody because it's a fun pick up and play. You could even simplify the buttons if you want to just have everybody who doesn't know anything about beat 'em ups and stuff like that and fighters. So it's fun. I would say that's my game of the year.
I guarantee you, there's 2 guys on the show that wouldn't like it.
Bro,
me and you, Manny.
Manny likes those games. I used to play with Manny with those games.
Which game was this again?
Some wrestling game, but it's
I mean, I don't know. I haven't played the wrestling games in a long time. I feel like a lot of the modern wrestlers are a little boring. It's just dudes in underwear.
It's just names. They don't even have like personalities anymore. John Cena, blah blah blah. Like, what's his name? You know,
what's his name?
You know, what is his name? You know.
Well, we got Luchasaurus.
Roman Reigns. And what's this motherfucker's name?
I mean, his name is John Cena.
Yeah, that's stupid. What about remember we used to have motherfuckers like Stone Cold The Rock? You know, Hulk Hogan, like Ultimate
They still
Warrior,
have those.
You know,
they at least had a little bit of a nickname to go with their name, like
Seamus Blackley, and that's not a fucking stage name.
My name is Seamus.
Now you're just making up stuff. Listen, they have plenty of that stuff. Remember, we went through the whole thing with the Fiend, and you even said it. Who's this guy with the clown mask and stuff? It's like, what? This is it. They have plenty of those type of characters.
Yeah, but are they like the top draw guys? Like the top draw guys are always like, regular dudes. Like, you open up a phone book, like, hey, here's that wrestler's name. You know,
he is top draw. He is the top draw. Yeah, that is their big money maker right there, especially when it comes to merch.
The biggest
right now, yes, the biggest.
Okay, so I was proven wrong. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like it may say just dudes in fucking shorts fighting or whatever. I don't know.
See, you haven't watched it. You're out of touch, so I get it. That's what it went. That's the fact that you brought
up. No, what are you talking about? I see this shit on Twitter every day because I guess I follow a bunch of wrestling fans. I'm like,
John Cena hasn't wrestled in years.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about in general, right? You have guys with just regular names that are the top draw.
You say like Bret the Hitman Hart. And so there are people that have the whole little thing. You got the executioner. You got all kinds of other.
But the guys that I see regularly are just regular name dudes. You know, that's all I'm getting at. And I see this all. Because
John Moxley. Moxley,
that's a regular name. You know,
not a regular name if you know what Moxley.
What about the Crusher or something like that? You know,
like so you're asking for the old school cheesy gimmicks, like you want to join the
He's like, give me Kane.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Undertaker, you know,
give me Kane.
Still have those type, but they're not the silly job types. You don't have a guy dressed up as a hockey player coming down with a hockey stick.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Bring that shit back, man.
Oh no,
a Brooklyn Brawler. Let's fucking go.
It's the Brooklyn Brawler.
See, Drunken Guardian. You get it, man.
No, but he knows, but he doesn't like that either. He still watches wrestling.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, man. Let's move on here. Mob Hits, who's also been joining us tonight. With Alan Wake Remastered selling less than Remedy hoped for, are remasters or remakes a gamble for studios? No, that's just a one-off. Most of these games sell very well, you know.
I mean, to be honest, Alan Wake in general was
never that big, yeah.
No, it was never really that big, and I feel like as far as that remaster goes, it's it's got some better textures, but it's not like they didn't really clean that game up that much. So I feel like but then again, why would they if they know that they're not going to get all that money back? So
Yeah. So I don't think it speaks for the larger landscape, you know what I'm saying, of remasters. All right, moving on. Next question. With Sony Santa Monica Studio once again bringing out another perfect classic. We don't know about that. He's talking about God of War Ragnarok because it did get high score. Well, it got high scores. I think he's basing it off of that. Remember, people, never base your opinion off a game off of high scores. I don't mean shit. Would you guys want Sony Santa Monica to continue making these kind of God of War games, or to branch out to another genre, or do they have the capability that might not be there? I'm not sure.
Personally,
I want them to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'd like to see them do something else. I feel like they had they in fact before God of War, the current God of War series, they had actually had a game canceled. So yeah, I would like to see them sort of have a new franchise. They've been the God of War company for over 20 years now.
Yeah. I think they have the capability.
Start over.
Yeah, I think they have the capability of doing another game. Yeah, I want them to do another game. I want them to do another game. You know, and it's that I like God of War, but it's like, okay, we could take a little break now. Take a little break, do something else. You know. All right. Next question, Kiss Shack, who was also joining us tonight, and also thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Hypothetical question. Oh boy, you know how these usually end. It usually ends with me going, I don't know. But we'll see. If after every generation, PlayStation never publishes a sequel ever again outside that generation, no matter how successful the game was, would that be a good or bad thing? What I mean is that once a new IP releases in a generation, the next sequel can't appear on the next generation console. This way, every generation would feel different and wouldn't feel samey. Interesting hypothesis there. He's basically saying, like, for example, you know how Uncharted started out on like PlayStation 3? He's saying, what if it only stayed on 3, never came to 4? Would that be better if like each generation had its own franchises that didn't spill over to the next one?
People get pissed.
That would work. It's not. That would never work. That would never work.
Then they let's say you can't buy that console anymore, and everyone's like, "Oh, remember that one game? Oh, that was awesome. Oh, yeah, you can't play that.
Yeah,
can't play
that. It wouldn't work. No. It wouldn't work.
Tied to it, people bitch about that now with certain ones like Infamous and stuff. Come on.
Yeah, people still want that. You know.
Yeah.
The thing people ask for the most are old games, which is ironic enough.
Well, I mean, we like everything old. As humans, we're just nostalgic with shit. We like old music. We like old clothes. People wearing bell bottoms again. That's what happened.
Yeah. So yeah, I know it's a hypothetical question, but it's too hypothetical, dude. So we'll move on. Final question of the night.
Final.
All right. Do you guys think that when gamers call to boycott video games during controversies, it actually does the opposite and inadvertently signal boost the game even more? It all seems to me that when controversy happens, YouTubers, influencers are there seizing the moment in bad faith to capitalize because it helps line their pocket and gain more clout, feel like a part of movement without actually doing anything. The Last of Us Part 2, Dexit, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Hogwarts Legacy, and more recently, Bayonetta 3 seem to be prime examples. Interesting question.
Well, I mean, in general, that is something that's going to happen, especially with a YouTuber. They're obviously going to jump onto the bandwagon because of how much attention it's getting. Are you going to say to Young or some other YouTuber, no, don't cover this stuff? Because they're ever going to cover this stuff because people are going to want to hear what their opinions are on these sorts of situations. But if they also resisted it, So I think it's just a given that it's in the news cycle, so obviously they're going to jump right on top of it.
Yeah, we don't have any data obviously for this, but yeah, it would be interesting to know, like, do controversies or boycotts actually lead to more sales after a backlash? Because apparently, again, I don't have the numbers for this, but apparently that's what happened with Bayonetta 3 after the backlash that happened. Because remember, the homegirl was saying, "Oh, like they only paid me $40,000." Boycott the game, but then when it turned out she was full of shit, everybody started buying the game, just to spite her.
I don't think it does anything, because we've seen even on the flip side, like with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, when that one came out, right? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And it put a bad taste from Avengers that nobody even wanted to pay attention. Meanwhile, all these YouTubers and influencers were praising it. They're like, no, this wasn't that game. And it didn't do shit for the sales.
Yeah, but nobody was asking to boycott that game.
No, but they were doing the reverse. You would think these big names, if they have that power, then it would go on the flip side. When it comes to boycotting, I don't think it matters, because if you're a fan, you're going to get it regardless. Like that, like even with the DC and all that, the Gotham Knights. If you like that IP, you're going to get it regardless. You like that universe. You like these characters. Same thing with Call of Duty. What was it? The one with the space one that was horrible. That had the Jon Snow one in that one. That one had the most downvoted video, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was shitting on it. It wasn't a good game. It still sold record numbers. So who the hell? I'm sure people that watch these videos are also the ones that went out to buy it. Don't tell me every person that watched it say, you know what? You're right. Great game. Not for me. They still bought it. So I don't think so. I think people just listen to it and make their own decisions, which is what they should do.
Yeah. I remember when Modern Warfare 2 came out, the original Modern Warfare 2, right? There was this controversy that they didn't have dedicated servers, right? Day one, all the people that made a petition to boycott the game were playing the game. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? You know?
Yeah. There's no point. There's no point to do any of that boycotting shit. Yeah. It's like if you don't like it and you have a valid reason, then just don't buy it. Don't go after them and then try to ruin the developers' lives and do all this, because they can always fix issues. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah. Again, can't really answer this question. We don't have any data to back it up. But it is interesting though. And like Manny said, in general, like influencers, they need to like milk these things as much as they can. That's why they have like 50 fucking videos on the same topic, because if they keep bringing in numbers, they're going to keep making videos about it, until the well dries up. We've seen a lot of characters like that. I'm not going to name any names, but we've seen a lot of that. Like remember when G4 thing was popping off with Frost? There was a lot of channels that became big just covering that shit. But the danger with that is, if you get big covering one big news topic, what happens with news eventually? Goes away.
It goes away.
Yeah, and then all your followers go away too.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I always say about Young. Yeah, he was he made it a point. He was the Metal Gear reporting guy. He was with all that stuff going on with Kojima and all that stuff. He was always on Johnny on the spot talking about that stuff. But when it all started dying down, he needed to evolve into something that was more than just the Metal Gear, the guy who just that just reports on Metal Gear shit or Kojima shit.
Shoot, I knew so many YouTubers that were just dedicated to collecting all the arcade one-ups and modding, doing the whole thing, and that's completely died out. That they just moved on to other things, to either actual arcade machines or just video game in general. Toys, they moved on. It's just they got so expensive. They're like $700-800 each, and then they were poorly built. A lot of them have a lot of issues. The Simpson one had a lot of audio issues and other issues, and the controls not working right. It's a shame. So yeah, like you said, it's like that with almost everything. When you're dedicated to one type of content, and what if that starts fizzling out? What do you do?
Yeah, you got to pivot. You have no choice.
That's why I give credit to some of these. There's a few. There's one Prestige Key that I know that he's got over 1 million subs. All he covers is Call of Duty. But thankfully, there's always a Call of Duty.
There's always a Call of Duty, exactly, yeah.
Call of Duty, and he covers all of it, and he's constantly. So I'm like, well, you know what? You're going strong. And he even says he's one of the few. There's a lot of them, cover other shooters as well. A little mix of Apex or whatever. He COG for life, and that's
damn.
Be interesting to see what happens when with the 2-year thing. See how that goes.
What's he going to do during that time?
From what Infinity Ward has said is that they still plan on sprinkling, stuff throughout the season passes and all that stuff throughout those years. And then, of course, Warzone is going to have plenty of Warzone. So he can probably drag those out. We'll see.
Adam, did you play the Godzilla and King Kong DLCs?
No. I thought about playing it for Vanguard, but I hated Vanguard so much that I couldn't even. Yeah, out of all of them, I played the least amount of multiplayer in that. And then they even stopped with season 5. They didn't even go the full season list. They just gave up on it too. It wasn't good. But I wanted to try that out. It had the big monsters coming, and I was like, but then I have to reinstall it. And
you don't want to do that shit.
No, it's like 250 gigs. Remember? These are beefy. It's like, I'm not gonna go. Shit.
That shit is crazy.
Permission to ask an off-topic, non-gaming question, real quick.
If we do, then I have to throw in Mob Hits one because I deleted his non-gaming one.
Oh.
What's that? Huh?
How far off topic is it?
It has to do with Godzilla.
Sure, it's Godzilla, so I'll let it pass.
So what's that new movie?
It's a new Toho movie.
Oh,
so it says celebrate 30 years of Godzilla. So yeah.
So it's not the Hollywood stuff.
No, it's Toho.
No,
Japanese guys.
Ooh, interesting.
But that's all we know is Toho. That's it. Toho live action Godzilla movie. That's all we know. We don't know anything about it. Now, you know what? I'll throw in Bob Hits' other question just because.
Just cause?
Just cause too?
Since we always talk about this platform all the time, may as well, right?
Platform.
Are any of you thinking about leaving Twitter now that Elon Musk has taken over?
No.
Fuck no. I'll tell you this, man. I think people are fucking overreacting, man. Like I'm getting the same kind of vibe as when our boy Trump won. You know, like, oh my god.
Not our boy, but
you know?
no. I feel like here is the real problem, and this is for every single person that's on Twitter. You got to realize that pretty much most people on Twitter are addicted to Twitter, and the bigger issue is not the fact that you're the fact that this guy is taking it over. It's the fact that you're just looking to get your fix somewhere else. But realize it's the same fucking shit. There are a bunch of these big media companies that are owned by two out of touch fucking rich people. So what? You're gonna go over to Instagram? Same fucking shit.
Yeah.
Didn't they take that dude to court because he was friggin' selling people's information? Or providing misinformation or other kinds of bullshit. So
well,
it's
Instagram
the same goddamn
is owned by
shit.
Facebook, so
so it's the same. Facebook, Instagram, it's the same. Twitter, it's all the same shit. So it's like, okay, it's like pick your poison.
That's what people are freaking out about. Is it because the other ones you don't have to pay, and this is the paying? And
here's the thing. This is you know what this is. This is him using the fact that people are fucking crackheads for friggin' Twitter to get them to pay for this shit, because people to get that coveted check mark, and are gonna want to do that shit. It's nothing.
They pay. That's the only thing I've seen.
To be honest, you also I feel like in general, like in because the one other thing about it is it's like, because nobody ever wanted to pay for Insta, was it Twitter, whatever bullshit version of Twitter they wanted people to pay for. That thing wasn't making any money because nobody gave a shit. And I think this thing is just deployed to get people to pay for something.
Oh yeah, it's to make money because he's borrowed so many billions or whatever to fucking pay for this shit.
But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Maybe we need to just not be concerned about who's got the check mark or something, because that gives an artificial importance to people that to be honest, I think a lot of people who have that check mark shouldn't be given any sort of priority like that.
It's gonna.
You're telling me?
It's gonna kill it.
Oh no, I definitely think it is going to kill it. But the thing is, I do. Here's the thing: I'm a mind of two different sides of this. I do see the importance of having, somebody like a celebrity protect their brand, or certain other people to protect their brand. I understand that sort of idea, but at the same time, now since everybody's got the verified check mark, so what does that mean?
It makes it worthless,
the thing is, it's not. Here's the thing: it's not supposed to be worth anything in the first place. That's the thing.
But it is.
It makes it meaningless.
It is not the thing. The thing is, here's the thing: it is supposed to be meaningless. The only reason why you have a check mark is to confirm that that you are you.
That is the meaning of it.
But the thing is that any other reasoning behind that, it makes no sense. Like, should you get priority over somebody else?
Oh no, that's stupid.
Because you have a check mark.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And I feel like that creates a sort of weird caste system. So if we're gonna go down the line of having people that have this sort of check mark thing, it should just be to verify their identity, not to give them fucking priority over other regular people.
That's stupid. Yeah.
But now it forces you to protect yourself to pay for this, as for celebrities, not for us, but like for celebrities, that now it's like, well, now I have to pay this, or else somebody is going to become a clone of me, or there could be multiple clones. Or
there's already a clones of actors and actresses on there.
Okay, now hold on a second. I keep hearing this, and I don't like Twitter, but I have to kind of throw this in. People are still going to be verified the same way that they are now. They're just going to pay for it. It doesn't mean if you can pay $8 and be, Brad Pitt official Twitter. Like, that's not how it works. You still have to verify yourself the same way you do now. You're just paying for it.
You sure? Because like all you have to do is sign up and fill out the form and pay your $8 or $20 if you do the.
Yeah, you fill out the verification.
Yeah, you still got to go through the process. Yeah.
Yeah. So and even then, it's like it doesn't make the process any easier.
No, you just have to pay for it now. But like, I keep hearing people say like, well, like, so what? You just pay $8 and you get to be anybody? Like, no, that's not how it's going to work.
No, you have to have just like anything. You have to have all the information that you would need for that. But
it's going to cost here's the link. That's it.
The whole purpose of the blue check mark was for people that were celebrities and people with clout to verify them, to see like, oh no, this is a celebrity you're looking for. This is
the real them. Yes.
And what they're doing now is Elon is tapping into that holy grail check mark and trying to make a profit off of that.
Yes.
And as soon as that happens, I think it's going to have less value. It was never about verification, because anyone can put their name of whoever on their Twitter stuff. I mean, a lot of people thought that the CEO Kaz Hirai was CEO Kaz Hirai.
Dumbasses.
There's a lot of people can create different accounts. For the people that are overreacting to this, I'll just say, just keep an open mind, because it's not like Twitter is like doing amazing things right now. It just is what it is, and it's probably always going to be like this. And also to the people that are overacting the other direction, where they're like, oh, a fucking savior's coming, the fucking messiah is coming. It's like, all right, Elon is buying this because of fucking clout. That's why he's buying it.
Yeah,
this is his mega yacht.
I think the thing about it is like I understand the whole thing, but at the same time, it's like, what else is it really going to change other than the fact that you have to pay for it? I don't know. I feel like it's, again, I'm of two minds, because like, again, I've been trying to get verified for a while now because of art theft, and I still haven't been able to do it because I don't have what do they call it? Because artwork in general is not SEO friendly, so I can't really protect my a lot of my stuff. I could see from that angle an artist wanting to do that and paying into it, but for me, I'm not going to pay into it. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
See,
so it's already been in that boat already.
If it does kick off, and let's say this works, and everybody that was obsessed then says, all right, we're all paying, what's stopping from all the other services doing the same thing? They're like, oh wow, people.
Well, no, yeah, that's a. Well, I mean, to be honest, a lot of the other services do have pay models on them. Instagram has a pay model on top of it. So does Facebook. Just not a lot of people use it. I mean, how many times, if you are on Instagram, how many times does it tell you, especially if you have a business account, that hey, you want to pay for this AdSense to essentially put more people onto your page?
But
it's the same shit.
Everybody, paying for everybody to get verified. Doing ads promotions, that's separate. You could always, that's how they make their
And then
money.
there's also also on Instagram, they have the pay version of Instagram where you get more features. And that's what Twitter was attempting to do, where they were, with their previous version of this, their pay system.
Commercials, and you can do
something. No, it's like, it was like commercials, and it's also essentially you getting certain privileges over others because you're paying into it.
Yes, Instagram does have a check mark.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, YouTube has one too.
Yeah,
they do.
Well. Yep.
And Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch does as well.
Twitch does too. Yeah, but the thing is that it's all based on your SEO.
Yeah, I don't think any of them they charge you. Like that's like you said, it's all based on all the facts.
It's all based on, well, Twitter likes to use this sort of bullshit term called cultural importance. And when the real factor is how many clicks it's getting, or how many searches it's getting, and how many articles, or legitimate articles and things were written about it. But it only has to do with that sort of thing. Like, again, if you could be a nobody, you could have been an actor in a bunch of movies, just have a bunch of bit parts, but you probably can't get yourself verified.
Mob Hits asked the most important question of the day.
Yes.
Do we need to get a check mark for Throwdown Show?
I don't think we have to worry about anybody impersonating the show.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it would be nice if we could say that it was the thing. But again, I feel like it's just the whole clout thing. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, if we had a thing that said official Throwdown, would it make you click any more on our Twitter than it normally would? Probably not.
You'd be surprised. I will mention one thing that happened to someone. I checked Twitter. Was it yesterday? And the first thing that popped into my feed, it's always fucking Tony. For some reason,
it always.
I know the guy.
Well, no, the thing is that having a check mark gives you priority over other people.
And
the algorithm's also in play because there's certain people without check marks that always pop up in my feed just because I always interact with them. You know,
you always interact with them, and it also bases it on your bases it also on how many followers they have too. So you have a couple of different factors. So if the reason why you probably see Tony all the damn time is because that. Here's a funny thing on my end. I don't interact that much with Tony on Twitter, and I barely see any of the things he tweets.
I don't talk to him on Twitter. I'm really on any of that stuff, and he's always at the top.
Right now.
And it'll
talk to him right now.
I can talk to him in person. I'd be like, yo, what up, Tony? How you doing?
That's what I'm saying. And then we have our own email, the message chat. So I was like, there's no need.
Yeah, of course he said email.
We have our own emails because this is
I get the
2020.
Yeah, I get
Remember back in the day
with Discord. I still get it from Discord whenever he sends me messages. When
he sent that text, I'm like, a fucking course had him gets an email for Discord.
I got one earlier today when he sent the message in Discord.
Yeah. So I guess my point, what I was gonna say, the tweet that Tony mentioned was the Disney Plus one. And Tony.
Oh my God! What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
I have a theory.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Real quick, I have a theory. A lot of the people that responded to you weren't even the usual fanboy haters.
Yeah,
they were just randoms. Yeah, and because of the blue check mark.
No, I agree with you on that. But again, and I know I'm being stupid right now because I'm trying to find the logic in fucking Twitter because there is no logic, right? Because a lot of people are saying, "What's the point of tweeting this? This is the point." I'm like, me tweeting about eating a hot dog is just as pointless as me tweeting about this. What's the fucking difference? Right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, why did you feel the need to say that? I'm like, how come you're not upset when I tell you what my favorite Godzilla movie is? It's literally just as pointless, isn't it? Right? Mm-hmm. But people are fucking stupid when it comes to unsubscribing things. Because again, they take it as a personal attack. They base their identity on Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever. So it's like, oh, there's something wrong with me because I still have it. No, you fucking dickhead. I'm just saying I ain't subscribed. I'm not talking about you. Yeah. But anyway, with this whole thing, if they start asking me for $8, fuck you. I'm not paying that shit. I think my follower count will let you know I'm the real me. I'm not paying $8 fucking dollars. Fuck that. Although I was reading that thing they put out, it seems, I could be completely wrong. It seems that if you are already verified, you're good to go. But if they go, oh, by the way, here's $8. Nah, fuck that shit. No, Twitter ain't that fucking important.
That's the whole point. And you have 90 days.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason why they said it, because they were like, hey, you have 90 days to sign up.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
It doesn't matter.
Unlike what these fucking idiots on Twitter say, I don't give a fuck about the clout. I don't give a shit about it. I'm just on Twitter to tweet about my articles and just tweet random shit. I don't care,
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, what was it? There was a guy, some rapper, I forgot the name of the rapper, there was a verse.
And you remember.
He said, if every head in my tweet sub equal to dollars, I'd be a millionaire.
Oh, I've said. Oh, listen.
I've said that a bunch of times.
Yeah, but he put it in a song. It was really cool the way he just worded it all up.
If I got $1 for every follower I have, I wouldn't have to. Like a month, I wouldn't have to work. $11,000 a fucking month, I'd be chilling.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I've said this on the show a million times. I am frustrated that the thing I'm most known for on the internet, Twitter, is what doesn't make me a cent, right? And then the thing I am known for, nobody knows that I do. The thing actually makes me money. Oh, you're a journalist? You write for a website? Yes, you fucking piece of shit. It says it right there in my bio. Read it.
Oh, they don't look.
They
just
don't.
Like when they don't read any of that stuff.
Read articles. They just look at the headlines and then they assume everything.
Yeah.
So they
But
he doesn't verify. He testifies. Verify these nuts, man. So things. But I will say this though. I am enjoying the chaos that Elon's causing on Twitter. I'm loving it. I think it's hilarious.
I will say this: that sometimes I enjoy some clapback, but if a year from now Elon Musk is still the fucking the topic of conversation every fucking day, I'm like, all right, man, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that would get annoying. Yeah, I hear you. By the way, did you hear the whole thing with Kathy Griffin? She got suspended because she started impersonating Elon.
Oh yeah, she had a thing. She had a thing that said, Elon Musk.
Yeah, so she got she got suspended, and then Elon tweeted about it, and he was like, "Hey, she could come back. It'll just cost her $8."
Oh no.
There you go. So then that whole thing about free speech, I guess it only works one way then.
Well, it's also the other thing that I noticed about all this is that people are going to some of those other weird
Mastodon. Mastodon's a fucking band, bro.
Mastodon. But here's the thing: Mastodon is not like Twitter at all.
No, don't you have to learn learn how to code first?
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated. You can essentially make your own social network using Mastodon. In fact, Trump's stupid thing, his uses the back end from Mastodon.
Yeah,
but
so
it's not
like MySpace back in the day where you had to like do a little bit of HTML.
Yeah. So you're essentially it's essentially just how essentially the guts of creating something like that. So again, you can pretty much make your own social media network. Just that's not that has that people can subscribe to, which is almost like Twitter, but not. The thing about it is that it doesn't have being that it's so fragmented like that. It's not like the essentially everybody's on it like something like a Twitter, or Instagram.
Well, it's not established. That's the thing. Once you get the big followings, and that's the main thing. It's like you can create any service. Anybody can go in. If no one joins it, then it's pointless. So Twitter already has that install base. Well, according to Elon, it doesn't have an install base. It's got a bunch of bots. We'll see. Time will tell. We'll see in a year. We'll come back and see if it worked out with the numbers. That things could always change. He wants to add $8. No one's paying that. Maybe he lowers it to $4. Who knows? He's just trying to make some money out of it.
Yeah, let me read his tweets. Regarding the whole Kathy Griffin thing. Actually, she was suspended for impersonating a comedian, but if she really wants her account back, she can have it for $8.
Oh my god!
Impersonating a comedian, but other comedians impersonate other comedians.
Oh god!
I mean, the clapback is fucking hilarious, but then if you think about it, it's the fucking dude running the company.
Yeah, but it is. But that's also kind of what makes it funny too. It's like, yo, you should be acting professional. You're a fucking troll. And he's been like this.
But he's always been like
he's always been like that. Yeah, he's an ultimate troll.
Him trolling Twitter is what led to him purchasing it.
Yeah.
So.
This whole thing could be a troll.
It's who knows. We give it a few months. He'll make some changes and then probably flip it like a venture capitalist and just sell it.
Yeah, right.
And then somebody else buy it from fucking Tencent will own it.
Oh shit!
Whatever. or like some other company. What is it? Like what happened to LiveJournal, where the Russian government ended up owning it.
Oh
shit! Yeah. All right, man.
There's situations like that. So
could happen, but anyway, that's enough of a non-gaming topic. But it was a good one. All right, we're done here, people. So, do we have anything to plug?
Actually, yes. I was a part of the Dave Wonder channel's Extra Life stream, 24-hour stream, which was Saturday and part of Sunday, and it was for a good cause, to help raise money for cancer treatment, treatments for children. Dave, at least from what I saw, not including the YouTube I guess YouTube, super chats. He pretty much smashed his $5,000 donation thing, and it was well over it. If it includes the super chat monies, so good stuff. Always good to have something like that. And Dave had a lot of people from all different walks of life working on the show as guests. He had professional wrestlers. He had with representatives for toy companies, toy sculptors, comic artists like myself. So it was a lot of people on there, joining together to lend their ear and their words to this stream that he did. So it was a lot of fun.
Good stuff.
So yeah, if you want to see it, you can get over onto Dave Wonder, which is on YouTube as well as on the Twitch.
Cool.
What was the fundraiser for?
Huh?
What was it for? What was
Extra Life?
Extra, but what's the Extra Life? I thought it would link to certain services. Extra Life was like certain foundations that they would give.
No, it's for at least for this one, it was for cancer research and leukemia and stuff like that.
For like disaster reliefs and stuff.
Yeah. But this one was for cancer, and because Dave, unfortunately, he lost his father to cancer, and so he just wants to fuck cancer, get rid of it, that shit. So more research into it. So, there we go. And that's what we sort of did. It was a good time. A lot of cool people on there. And yeah. So if you want to check it out. I think if you want to donate, you can go on to the description for that 24-hour stream. And I think it's still open if you want to donate a little bit of money to it.
Cool. Adam, anything to plug?
Yeah, we posted our latest episode of I Am Negan, which is for final season 11, episode 23. Is the second to the last episode of The Walking Dead Mothership. So we go in deep, myself, Rich Billy Jr., and Carlos Romero, trying to figure out how they're going to end this. Who is going to die? I already teased the death of a major character in this episode. Check it out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. We're over at thecoalition.com. We go over, man. It's it. It's the final countdown, people.
Who's gonna come back as a zombie?
Who's gonna come back as a zombie? Yeah. Right? I think I know.
Crazy. All right, people. Actually, one last thing. Throwdown. The next episode will be on Wednesday night, people. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be on Twitch. 10:30 usual time, but different day, so be prepared for that. So we'll be coming a little earlier than usual. So yeah, anyway, you have been watching us on Twitch. Thank you for everybody who joined us. You can find us also on Twitter. Maybe Elon won't suspend us. We're also on Discord. Apparently a lot of people are going to Discord like, we're gonna start our own Discord server, we're gonna meet up there. Discord, and come on, bro. That's not going to hit the same reach as Twitter, Nah,
man, you ain't going to get your crack fix from no Discord.
Yeah, again, the way Twitter is designed is to be addictive. It really is, So you're not going to get that shit from a Discord server.
I feel at this point though, Reddit would be the closest contender.
No, Reddit already has. Reddit has a different audience.
It's got a different audience, but that's what I'm saying. I can see it switching because you could do the same type of thing, and you can have more voices talking in one chat.
No, it doesn't.
Twitter is breaking news. The app.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, like it's just quick news right there. That's what it was originally designed for. Reddit is just like it's so much. It's overwhelming.
I think
you have to customize it for what you want.
Yeah, breaking news the app. That's basically what it is.
Breaking news the app.
Yeah. Anyway, Throwdown. We're on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show. 2 words. Throwdown Show. Every podcast app. What are we at? Amazon, Spotify, iTunes. Google, all that good stuff, and a bunch of I've never even heard of. It's just how it is. Throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes, and if you have been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, our star was Tony Polanco, and 10 hours joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people.
Brett Murdoch. It's been real party, people. And Brian Majoma.
Later, guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. Later.
Laters. Deuces.
Peace.